Hey, it's Sean again. I just wanted to cover some things. If you're a progressive, there are lots and lots of reasons to lose your mind. You are familiar with all of these if you are a progressive person. There's no rational healthcare system in the United States. We spend $1 trillion or more a year on weapons, on and on. And we don't even need to belabor the point. It'll make you tear your hair out. That's all completely reasonable. There are also some new reasons to lose your mind, and those are a little bit darker and more nefarious, and that is propaganda. Uh, what is happening is this was inspired by a friend of mine who was has been gone down the rabbit hole of the Gray Zone, and the Gray Zone is a website that was set up by Max Blumenthal, who is a reputable American journalist. Blumenthal, like a lot of progressive journalists, felt as though he was not getting a fair shake in the United States. Undoubtedly, that's what happens to a lot of progressive journalists, and uh, they think as had do or did a lot of us, as I did back in the day. They're being suppressed by the corporate media, and the corporate machine doesn't want their information to get out there, and so they're being suppressed. And what actually happens is that progressives are a relatively small slice of the population. That is, people with the aptitude to understand policy, people who are actually interested in policy, and people that pursue that and have the morality and ethics to support progressive policy. That's not the vast majority of the population. Okay, so commercially, left wing things don't do very well. So a lot of those people, uh, Tom Hartman, one of my favorite people, Ed Schultz, another great one. A lot of those people look for other outlets, and they have been invited to use RT, the Russian state system, or Sputnik, and to have an outlet on these particular things. And they do that in hopes that they can reach a wider audience. Um, some of them uh, end up in the process of doing all that, developing sympathies for Russia's certainly the Russian people or the Syrian people. Oftentimes, that's also a thing, and so that's all completely understandable. The thing that we have to keep in mind is that they aren't on RT or Sputnik because Vladimir Putin is a super progressive guy who's just excited about getting, the liberal progressive message out there of, freedom and harmony and anti-war. What Putin wants is to be able to peel as many people off of the American left as he can, because Putin and Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump, and all of those nice people, all those nice right wing people in the United States, they have a common worldview and a common umbrella. They would like very much for Russia and the United States to be allied. Uh, Not just the United States, particularly the white United States. Okay, white supremacy, Christian dominionism, and corrupt crony capitalism. Okay, so Putin, as you probably know, if you're halfway rational, really, really wanted Trump to be president. He was very, very excited about that, and wants to continue bolstering the right wing in the United States. Wants them to continue to buy all sorts of weapons and to turn each other against us. And one of the things that is in his way, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. He looked at American culture and went, "Gosh, these leftists, they're really upset with the establishment Democrats and Hillary Clinton and all this, Joe Biden, and they don't even like Obama anymore because he wasn't the progressive they thought he was. So if we can just peel off enough of those progressives from the Democratic Party, then we can give the Republican Party a leverage in the elections." And so that's what he's done. That's been the whole plan. And so if you'll find some of these very radical left-wing things that will tell you, that the Iraq War was all Hillary Clinton's fault, and that was also Donald Trump's line, et cetera, et cetera. I've seen some of these people walk right up to endorsing, watching Tucker Carlson, and in some of these folks, you can tell that they are right at the door of flipping from left to right, and it's very, very disturbing. So they also exhibit the tendencies of the cult people, the chemtrail people or the anti-vax people, in that if you question them at all, they will immediately attack, and it's an emotional, personal, at the man ad hominem attack. And this is as a result of emotional manipulation. Their argument won't hold up very well under scrutiny. For instance, if you look up the gray zone, and ideally you should do this with any information source, especially something you've never heard of before. If you had looked up the gray zone ahead of time before you swallowed everything that they had to offer you, all of that toxins, you would have discovered that they are a purveyor of Russia propaganda, a lot of misinformation, a lot of emotional manipulation. So, Media Bias Fact Check is an awesome source. You just Google Gray Zone Media Bias / Fact Check, and it's the first thing that comes up. The Wikipedia entry also for Gray Zone is pretty revealing. So rather than polluting yourself with all that stuff in the long term to the point that you're just insane, um, like try to evaluate it before you go into it. Look for media outlets with skin in the game. That is professional journalistic outlets with professional journalism, journalists who have a reputation on the line. Again, Max Blumenthal, perfectly fine reputation. I don't know exactly where it is that he flipped. And a lot of times, a lot of these people are very far left, and they have wonderful values and morality and ethics, and they look at the United States and what we did in Iraq and torture, and they go, my God, this is a freaking evil empire, and I'm going to kill this no matter what I have to do. And they end up supporting somebody like Vladimir Putin, who is just freaking horrible. The enemy of our enemy is not our friend in this case. And the United States is not your enemy anyway. I mean, yeah, we do some crappy things from time to time. Overall, the balance is still fairly decent. We're not, persecuting the Uyghurs. We generally stand up for human rights. We got some things we do. We've got a lot of problems. I'm not denying that. Okay. Vladimir Putin is not the answer to those problems. Okay. He's not a nice man. Just because one person is an asshole doesn't mean that somebody else isn't an asshole. Yeah. So, you got to kind of, try to keep your brain in check, because once you have been emotionally manipulated and radicalized, it's very, very difficult to get back from that, to recover from it, because it's steeped in emotional thinking, and you have a hard time pulling yourself out of that. So, I'd love to have a discussion beneath this video. If you'd like, please like and subscribe. We'll be talking about similar things in the future. I'm going to have some comedy coming up here. So, I do those things too. It'll be a lot of fun. But right now, we're just still in the process of building this thing. So, hope you like the video. Like and subscribe. Thank you. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.